Did I do something foolish? The possibilities are endless. Find out after the titles and see what I've done now. Hey everybody, Anthony Dodge Mouth Train Outsider, Merklin Outsider, a Night of the Round Boy table here with a video I don't know how to classify because it's not really an analog to digital. It's not quite a first impressions. That may come in the second part of this, the part 2 of this video. But I managed to pick up a new loco. So let's get to the story. After my Christmas steamer palooza, I saw a couple of videos from Germany of guys running Christmas trains. Not just the standard American Christmas cars and the Christmas locos I knew of, but they were running all kinds of Christmas locomotives. And I thought, that's what I'd like to do now as a Christmas tradition, is run just Christmas trains. You know, not the steamer palooza. And I did decorate some trains and try to make Christmas wagons and such. But that was a lot of work, and I'm glad it worked out well. But there were some things I was worried about the whole time, but they worked out. But I want to make actual Christmas trains and get a lot of Christmas wagons and Christmas themed cars rather than try to make my own. And I've moved Steamer Palooza to Oktoberfest, and my goal was to get 6 Christmas themed locomotives. I already had the Class 01, and so right after Christmas, I got a discount on the American Startup Christmas Kit. It's got a little steamer, Class 80, and 3 Christmas wagons and a bunch of track, and I got that for $125 on sale. You know, kind of like clearance from an American shop. So yeah, great deal. All that track, locomotive, and the locomotive's great. It's a basic locomotive. Anyway, I got that one, and I knew that last year American had released a Class 185 in a Christmas livery, and I found one of those for a fair price. You know, maybe not quite as cheap as I might have gotten it from Lipa pre-tariffs. But for what it would cost normally, I got it for a decent price, and added that. And then I bought a Class 29, or not, no, I'm sorry, I bought a Class 89 little steamer that I plan on repainting, and I got that for $30. And then I found the Class 120 Christmas locomotive from 25 years ago or so. I found that for under $100, and I bought that. And I've been doing this over the last couple of months, just picking these up. But while I was looking for American Christmas locomotives, I discovered that they made a Class 50 back in 2015, 2016, just as I was getting into the hobby and wasn't looking at Christmas locomotives. All these years I've been in the hobby, I did not know American made a Class 50 Christmas themed. In fact, they made 2 of them. There was the bigger general release, and then they had a slightly rarer American MHI version, you know, that went to just American dealers. It's not ultra rare, but it's definitely, they were both impossible to find. I could not find anything on eBay. I found information, but some shops had them in their stock list, but out of stock, can't get, you know. So I learned what I could about them, but could not find them on eBay, could not find them on German, Austrian, or other European eBays. There was just, they were not out there. So it was one of the things that, well, if I go to Germany this year, which we decided to do, to put on my search list. And just out of the blue, just under 2 weeks ago, I typed in Miracle Christmas Loco because I'll keep typing in to see if there's other things out there. And lo and behold, somebody in, I want to say it was Florida, listed the rarer of the two Class 50s, the Miracle number 37899, for $92. Or actually, it had bid up to $91, and I thought that's a great price. Of course, then I read it was listed as DOA. It does not. It's completely dead. And then they showed pictures that the coupler was broken between the tender and the loco. Okay, that's probably a $5 to $10 part. And said that no lights, no sound. They even listed it as not being digital. So they did not look at this because I know it's digital. But they said nothing's working. They said there's a wire broken, but it's not running, so there must be other problems with it. Well, looking at that, I took a shot. I put a bid on. I was not going to pay over $100, and I didn't expect to win it. As it is, I won it at $92. Nobody topped the bid I put on, so I paid $92 for it because I figured I could fix it, or if it was a little beyond, I have my guy out in California that would fix it, and would probably cost me about $100 to $150 to totally get it fixed. And that still would be $92 investment and $100 to $150 in repairs at most for a $350 loco. That was in pretty much, you can't say like new condition when it's broken, but it had not been run a lot, and it's very clean. So anyhow, I got it in, and I looked at the wire. It was broken, and the coupler. I looked up the pieces, because this does not have a box. It does not have the manuals, but the manuals are online. And I obviously was taking a chance. It might have been a lot worse. I was trying to decide if it had been dropped or not, but there's no physical damage anywhere on it. So anyhow, I did not plan on filming a story about this, and I'm already babbling for how many minutes I've been going on. I had to ask Jean Ricard for just some quick information. I was thinking go here and then here, and he said no, do this part first, because if you check this part, you won't have to do this. And well, I've got just a few snippets of video here I'll share with you, and then I'll come back. So this is what I picked up. It is Miracle 37899. It is a Class BR50 Christmas locomotive. And I paid $92 for it in non-working condition. So at the moment, it does not work. It is DOA. The ad said it was, but looking at it, I felt I could fix it up. So we'll see if I can. Okay, the first look inside. Now, I've already stripped these, but this wire is split from that wire, and this wire was tight in there, so I had to yank it out of the little bracket. Now, the other thing that's broken is the, I don't know if there's an easy way to point it out here. The coupler, I don't know if you can see that easily. That is twisted and broken, so I've had to order the replacement coupler. This part seems to be okay, but this part is twisted and broken on the tabs there. I don't know if there's really any way. Let me try to shine the light on in there. That might make it a little clearer. There you can see that. I'll put a picture of what the clip should look like. But yeah, that is broken right there, and that wire is severed with the other half here. So
it's going to take a while to get this part in. Nobody in America had it. I had to order it from Germany. So it'll take a little while. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and solder these two wire together and see if we get power. All right, so lots happened in the last, well, about 24 hours since I first filmed this, soldered the wire, and had everything working. Unfortunately, it doesn't move. So the wheels were locked up, and I was going to go and take the wheels out, but Jean-Ricard suggested that I take the motor out and then see if the wheels unlock. So that's what I've just done. And yes, the wheels now move. So clearly the issue is in the motor. And I'll show you some things now. When I got everything working, I knew it clearly wasn't the decoder or a connection because everything was working. It just doesn't move. The motor makes no sound, but I've been told by a couple of people, actually, these can be pretty silent. But I wasn't hearing any buzzing or anything in there. So I wondered if the motor's dead, and I don't know that yet. But I traced every wire before I went to this stage, stuff I didn't do on. I traced every wire to the decoder here with the lights or relay or whatever that is. And then everything traced back to the decoder. Everything is connected. There's no signs that anything is out of whack. The bars are all right. And like I said, it's now moving freely since I took the motor off. Every function works. It's just not moving. So I just took the motor off, and I want to see if I can show you what I saw, but I got to remember where the angle is. When I lift the motor up, look at that. Look how much, whoops. Look at that gunk in there. And then on the end of and inside the gear here of the motor, I've got to clean that all out, and maybe, just maybe, this will work. But this is the part that I'm showing you right now. This is not moving. I'm holding my phone with one camera, or I'm holding the phone camera with one hand and the motor in the other, so I'm sorry for the shaking and that. But yeah, that is just a mess. I don't know who was doing what. Looks like they squeezed the whole tube of lube in here. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there should be that much lube in there. So I'm going to clean this out and see if we can get the motor working. And if not, it's about $40 to replace the motor. So that's not bad. Okay, I'm sorry I'm not filming more of this and showing my work, but my mind is already distracted with enough issues. And so let me explain where I'm at. The last thing I think I showed you was that everything was working, but it wasn't moving. And I showed you all the gunk in the motor. Now, I cleaned that out. I cleaned it out. And, but when I tried to run it again, it still didn't move. So that means either the motor's dead or there's a problem with the contact. So unfortunately, I'm just going to tell you what I just did. I took the motor out and the blue wire, which is on the bottom, snapped off. Now, I had checked the contacts. They were connected, but it snapped off. So it was a very brittle contact. And so I said, to hell with it. It's already disconnected. I disconnected the green wire. Now you can see they're already reconnected. Well, I took the motor over to the bar and I got out a 12-volt bit and I connected the two wires from my 12-volt to the two poles here, where you can see these are now soldered on again. And the motor worked. So the motor was not dead. So there was a contact issue. So what I did was, there was enough slack in the blue and the green wire. I cut them down. I stripped them. I put new solder points on the little terminals here. And so I made sure it just had good solder and good connection. And lights. So we got light. And it's moving. We now have a working loco. Now it's jumping like that because yes, the contacts aren't great. It's a little loose. Once it runs in, I think it'll be all right. Because you saw even the light went out. But it's pulling by the wire, so I don't want to do this too much. And I'm not giving a lot of juice because I don't want it to run too fast. Because the other issue I still have to fix, and it's going to take a couple of weeks to get them in, is I have to replace the coupler that connects the loco to the tender. But for now, this fella's working. So I just got a really nice loco for $93, $8 for the part that's coming in. Little time on the solder and work, but yeah, I'm really happy right now. All right, so you can see a little yellow piece in there. I didn't have any thin black, so I had to use yellow. I can always take a black marker to it. The coupler is still broken. It's going to take a couple of weeks or more for that part to arrive from Europe. But let's show you a little bit of where we're at. So I don't know if you can see that, but the headlights are on. The front lamps are on. Christmas tree lights up. There are some other sound functions that will work when it's in motion. So all kinds of sound and light functions, they're all working. And of course, because it's a Christmas train, I made the mistake of hoping one song would cut off the other, but it plays two Christmas songs. But now, so I knew the decoder was not any issue. But now, let's see what I've done. We're not done. There's a major piece yet to be added. But the last little bit of fun here. Turn it back on. Whoops. I got one of the wheels off. I'm sorry. But yes, you saw it moving. I can't do too much with it because it's only those wires holding it, so I'm going very slowly and carefully, but it moves. It works. I just need to get the replacement special coupler piece to link the locomotive to the tender, and then I can do a full run-in and everything else. But for now, this was a nice little success in a week where I needed one. So, yeah, back to me.
Okay, so there you saw the main steps to it. I'm really quite happy. I took a small risk with this. I still figured if I couldn't get it working, the guy I occasionally do business with that fixes some of my locos would have charged me $100 to $150 to fix it, and that still would have been less than $250 invested on a loco that when it was new was well over $300. But to not have to invest anything other than $8 for the part, which includes 3 separate parts, but I only need one of the 3 pieces in the kit. And it was just about $4 postage, so $12. And as you see, it's working. I can't run it in, and that's going to be part 2, where I'll do sort of a first impressions video of it, although I did show a lot of it off already. But, get you the weights and some more close-ups and running it in and having some fun with it. But that's probably a month away. It's just how long it's going to take to get this little part. They're just sending it in an envelope, so it's not a package or anything. So I'm excited to have this. I'm feeling very good that I got it working with minimal effort. So on that note, I want to thank those of you who watched and say Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains.